Hello there. So as you can see, this is my Whirlpool Sports Duet washer and dryer combination. They both sitting on pedestals. We bought these at Costco 2007, so we are November of 2014, so it's about 7 years old. And lately the washer has been leaking, not all the time, especially during heavy loads. So today we're going to troubleshoot and see what's going on. More than likely it's this rubber piece right here, okay, the seal, or I guess it's called the bellows. And so let me show you a couple things. Well, first of all, before we get started working on electrical equipment, of course, we want to disconnect the electrical plug, so let's do that, which is right there. There's the water shut off. I'm going to leave it on. We're really not going to be moving the washer and touching any of those water inlet hoses and stuff, so it should be okay. So first a couple of things here. I'm going to turn on the light so we can see in there a little bit better. So the first thing that you notice is there's a little bit of water in there, which is a good thing because, as you can see down here, the machine is not leaking right now. And typically what happens is this tray down here gets full of water because it's leaking while the machine is running. And right now there's just a little bit of leftover, but it's definitely not leaking right now. So that's good news. That means that there's nothing leaking from underneath, you know, the tub or the hoses and that sort of thing. So more than likely the leak is indeed coming from the seal that, as you can see, is not in the best of shape. It's got some mold, and as I said, it's about 7 years old. So what I did earlier is I took a look around the seal, and sure enough, if we peel this back right over here, you can see this big tear right here. Okay, so, and it goes with the logic that it was only leaking when the loads were heavy or high, so it's kind of high up here. I also noticed some chafing, some flattening of this rubber gasket here, so I don't know what's going on there. But it looks like this is definitely the leak. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up the model number, which in our case is right up here. My case, you can't see it, but it's a W8410SW01, and this bellows runs about $76 with free shipping on the internet to about $126 locally. So we're gonna, today being a Saturday, I want to get it done today, so I'll probably end up paying the $126 instead of having to wait a couple days for the bellows to arrive. This bellows is common to a lot of different other brands. Well, not a lot, but there's Whirlpool, Maytag, and Kenmore. So you want to look it up. The part number for this guy here is W10111435, which is the later one. It supersedes a whole bunch of other part numbers. But so in order to replace the seal, we're gonna have to take this bottom piece right here, okay, and I'll show you how you guys can take that off. It's quite easy. And then we're gonna have to take this front panel and door assembly out. We're gonna have to take this guy out, and that's easily done. And then we have to fold this guy back. We don't have to disconnect anything electrical, but we do have to get it out of the way so we can get this piece out. And one last thing, behind this panel here, there is a clean out of sorts. So if you get the error code up here, F21, saying that there's a drain problem, more than likely the issue is going to be this clean out over here, and I'll show you how that's done. Since you're going to have this thing out, you might as well clean it out. Now, I personally cleaned mine not too long ago, so I don't expect to see too many debris inside, but as I said, since it's going to be, the panel is going to be out, I'm going to take it out once again and inspect and clean it out. Okay, so let me set up the tripod and we're going to get started. Okay, we're going to get started here by taking this bottom access panel off. And as far as tools are concerned, you're going to need the most basic of tools. One of them is, I have this ratcheting screwdriver right here. And you may need a couple bits to take out, there's some clamps in there. So the first order of business, we got to access these 3 screws down here. And there's one, here's another one in the center, okay, and another one down there. And these are just regular, it looks like 1/4 inch sheet metal screws. So what we're going to do is, at the end of my ratcheting screwdriver, you would take this bit off, and right there is a 1/4 inch hex receptacle, and it should be able to fit right in there. And it does. And you just unscrew it. And I'm going to do the other ones, and we'll get back to you momentarily. Okay, so I've taken the 3 screws out of there, and that's what it looks like. Okay, and now this piece, as you can see here, has dropped, and we should be able to get that right out of there. And right behind this piece is, it looks like the manual, which we can also verify that the part number is correct. And here's the bottom of the machine, and this is what I was talking about right here. This is that clean out that if you get the F21 code, you're going to have to remove and clean it out. And basically just unscrews. It's kind of hard. I usually use a pair of channel locks to turn this, and we're going to do that after we change the bellows. But yeah, I can see some evidence of leaking in there, and we're going to take out, we have to disconnect, this is the door lock switch right here. We have to take out these 2 screws, and we're going to fold this bellow back, and there's a spring over here that we have to remove. And I'm going to set up the tripod and show you how that's done. Okay, I was talking about tools, and I just noticed that these 2 screws right here that hold down the door switch mechanism require a Torx bit. And if you don't know what a Torx is the star-shaped bolt there. So I have one here, okay. It's a T20 bit, and that fits snugly in there. And you attach this end, of course, to your ratcheting screwdriver, which is down here, and you're ready to go. So one more bit of detail is that, as I mentioned earlier, around this rubber bellows here on the outside, there's this spring that we have to pop off, and I wanted to show you. There it is right there. You can actually see it right here. So we're going to put a slotted screwdriver right here and extend that spring and just pull it right out. So let me set up the tripod, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to remove that spring, and before I do that, I want to take a magic marker and just kind of mark where this little loop for the spring goes to. You want to put it back, obviously, in the same place that you took it out. So I'll just mark it. So in my old age, I won't forget where it came in. So here it is. We're going to stretch it, okay, and you kind of work around it like that. And here it is. There's the spring right there, this clip, and that basically goes all the way in there into that groove. So that's that. Okay, so now we can move this guy out and push it into the tub, because we will need to take this front panel off. So here it is. It has to. There's a lip right here, so this whole assembly has to go back behind the lip. So that comes off like that. Okay, here's another tear right over here. Okay. There's that big tear right here. And now she's free from the front, from this front cover. So now we can take our ratcheting screwdriver with the Torx bit. You can see that the switch assembly is moving as I take this the screw off. Here's the second one. And this is the actual switch right here. And that's the locking bit that goes to the door. Okay, so that's off. So we'll put all those screws together. And now in order for us to take this off, there's a couple of screws down here, okay, and there's some behind this panel, so we're going to have to take this top assembly off. So here we go. Okay, so in order to take this front control panel off, we're going to have to take this guy off, and this is easily done. There's a little lever right here, and you press it down, and this comes right out like that. Okay, and that will expose a screw right in there, and it looks like it's another Torx. And on this model, it looks like there is a regular Phillips screw head over here. Some of them are pop-up, but this one looks like it's a Phillips. So let me take those off, and then I'll show you how that panel comes out. Okay, just some details on the screws. The two screws on the left are the ones for the door switch, and they do have a little washer in them. And this screw here is for the one that's up there by the control panel behind the that tray, and it's longer and there's no washer. Okay, so I've taken that screw off, and if you just tilt this up, okay, you can see that it's beginning to move. And there's one catch over here, so you pull it out, and then this whole thing pulls out like so, and then you just fold it back like that out of the way. So now you're going to be able to spot one screw there, again a 1/4 inch sheet metal screw. There's another one there, and there's two below. And once we've taken, there's the other one, and there's another one right there. So once we take those 4 screws off, then this whole door assembly will come out. And we already took out the screws for the door switch, so we should be ready to go. Okay, so I've taken the lower left screw and the top left screw. So now I'm going to take these screws off, and this door is going to become loose. So as you can see right there, so you're going to start hanging onto it. So there's one screw, and this is the last screw, and here it is. It's kind of heavy, so hang on to it. And that's all there is to it. So now we're going to ready to attack the rubber seal, the rubber bellows. That's all there is to taking that door off. Now we're ready to remove this rubber bellows from the actual tub, and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so here we are. This is the interesting bit. So here's the rubber bellows. Remember, we kind of folded it inside the machine, so it's right there. But before I unfold it, okay, I want to show you Here's this other clamp. It's not a hose clamp, but it is adjustable. So we need to remove that in order to take this bellows out of this other rear lip over here. So once again, I'm going to use my magic marker, and they don't give me a torque specification for this clamp. So I'm going to mark the threads on inside here, okay, so that I know how far to tighten the clamp. You don't want to do it here on this side, because as it goes through, the nut is going to wipe it off. So you want to do it on the inside here on the bottom, so you know how far down to go. Okay, so now let's take a look at, I'm going to unfold it for its normal position. So that's what that thing looks like, and you can see the big hole right here, and there's another small tear right here. So it was definitely time to replace it. So I'm going to take this with me to make sure that I get the matching one. I can see all kinds of numbers over here, so I'm going to try to match these. Now I'm not exactly sure if it's the same number that I gave you earlier. So they have a couple of different ones. For example, this drain sometimes goes to this guy here. This one does not. It goes directly to the tub. So we're going to have to verify the bellows compatibility here. So, alright, so let me take that clamp off, and then I'll show you how to take the bellows off. Okay, so I changed my mind. I did mark the threads, but it's not very visible, so I marked on the tub where the top and the bottom of that screw clamp goes to. So I'm going to undo it completely, and then I can just remove that whole clamp. Okay, so I've undone the clamp here, so now you kind of peel it back, and it goes all the way back over there. See, there's a rubber piece over here, and there's a groove, and it goes all the way around. And that's what that thing looks like. Okay, so now we should be able to remove this piece, and it's going to take some fiddling here, but I think I'm going to start it right up here, and it's very difficult to work with one hand, so I am going to, well, hang on, I got it. Here it is. Yes. Alright, so here it is. Okay, we just have to peel it back. Okay, there it is. Again, there's a lip over here that this thing goes against, and this thing has to go inside of that there. So we're going to go to this side, take that off, and here it is. Okay, so it looks like the top, there's this little extra piece here. So I'm going to take this piece with me to the appliance parts store and match it exactly. And before we put it back together, we'll have to do some cleaning here. It's not too bad. And of course, we're going to clean this guy out. Alright, I'm going to run to the hardware store. Alright, so I'm back from the appliance parts store, and I got the new bellows, and the part number is correct. It's a W101-114-35. So what I'm doing right now is I have the piece actually outside in the sun to warm it up, to make it more malleable, so we'll be able to fit it around this plastic lip here. And as you can see, it's pretty dirty, so I'm just going to take a rag, a wet rag, and I put some dishwashing soap. I'm going to clean it all the way, so it should make it easy to put the new bellows. I suppose you could also warm it up in a plastic tub or something of hot water. That's another way of doing it. But today is a nice sunny day out here in California, so I have it outside to make it nice and warm. So meanwhile, I'm going to clean this, and then next we're going to clean down here the clean out. I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so I just finished cleaning this lip over here. So if you look all the way around, it's nice and clean. There was quite a bit of calcification down below. I had to use a blunt end of a flat blade screwdriver to scrape that off. It took a little bit of effort there. So now it's nice and clean. So now we are going to clean the clean out. And one thing to notice is that this thing here screws on there, and there's an actual stop right over here. So there's a little lip that this tab hits against, so you can't screw it any further. So let me put the camera on the tripod, and we're going to take that out. By the way, you know, as you saw earlier, and there's some water right in there, and this being the lowest point in the washing machine, you can expect that when you take this plug out, there's going to be some water coming out. So I put a pail down here to catch any water that comes out. So be right back. Alright, so here we go. As I said earlier, I use a pair of channel locks, and I just put it in like this, and then you kind of screw it and you can see it turn right there. And you just keep turning it until it comes out. Here comes the water. So let it drain for a bit. I guess it makes it a little bit easier, the machine being in the pedestal, on top of the pedestal. If it was ground level, then we have to somehow prop it up and put it on blocks perhaps, so that you can get the pail underneath it. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, there is some debris down there. So we're going to take that off and clean it a little bit. But as I said, you may get once in a great while error code F21, which more than likely signifies that this thing here is blocked, full of stuff that you don't want to be there. You also want to take a look inside there and make sure it's nice and clean, and it is. There is a little key over here, plastic key, and that goes into the slot right over here. So when you put it back in, you kind of have to feel for it, and then if it doesn't catch very well, that means it's probably not in there. But this one here seems to be catching pretty well. So once again, we go and use our channel locks as a guide to help us put it in there. And as you can see, it hit the stop, so you're done. You're good to go. So that's it. So I'm going to bring the new bellows out, and we're going to put it in and start putting the machine back together. Okay, I wanted to show you some details. So here's the new bellows, and this is the bit that goes inside the tub. So this piece here, this flapper piece here, goes between the metal tub and this plastic tub here, and this piece here is the one that goes around this plastic piece that I just cleaned. And to show you the relationship of where that clamp goes, once this piece is in place, then that clamp goes inside this groove right in here, like so. Okay, so as you remember, there's a top piece on this bellows, and the top piece is identified by this little extra piece of rubber right here, and that goes on the top side. So let me get it started, and then I'll show you the finishing touches. Okay, so it took a bit of fiddling, but we have it almost all the way in. And the best way that I found to put it in is you can definitely feel that plastic lip here. Okay, so right here, for example, it's not engaged yet. So if you pull this out and then you kind of, with your thumb, you press it in, you will feel it go over the edge of that lip, and now it's in. So you just continue from where you left off. You pull it in, you press it, and you go like that. And as you can see, you can definitely feel it. See, this is not in, and this one here is, because it's nice and tight. Okay, so you just keep doing that until you go all the way around. Okay. As I said, it does take some fiddling, but eventually it will go in. Okay, and that's the last of it. Okay, so I can walk around and you can see that it doesn't pull out. That means that it's engaged all the way around. Okay, so now we are going to put that clamp, and let me set that up. Okay, so we're ready to put the clamp back on, and just as a last check here, you want to make sure that this guy is in correctly, and you'll see that there's like a little spout right over here, and then there's 3 drain holes right here that drain the whatever catches out here into the tub and out. So here's the clamp. I kind of started it in that groove back there. Okay, so we're going to continue feeding it. Again, you want to make sure that it's in that groove all the way back there. And it is. So now we're going to get on this side here. We're going to get it started. And then we're going to screw it down so that the red magic markers line match up with the screws over here. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, you want to make sure that that clamp is on that groove, which in this case it is, and before you tighten that clamp all the way, you kind of want to position it to where it should go. There it is.
Okay, so the lines match over here. It matches on the screw, so we're back to the same spot that we were before. Again, you want to make sure that everything is nice and tight, and it is. And now we're ready to put the door panel back on. Okay, we're ready to put the door panel back on. So we'll kind of line things up roughly. You want to put the rubber boot inside, so to make life a little bit easier. Get this guy started, and we're going to go right over here. Okay, that guy's on. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so before we put the boot back on, or the bellows back on, the front piece here, we're going to put this top control panel back on. And as you remember, it takes 2 screws. One of them is a Phillips screwdriver that goes down below here. Okay, we're going to do that one first. And then we have a Torx that goes right in there. So let me do the bottom piece. And this guy went out on the outside, and it should go, correction, it went on the inside, it should go on the outside. There she goes. That's that. So we put that screw in there. Okay, that's that one. And then we have to put in the Torx, which goes right in there. And that's all there is to that. Okay. And there's a little bit of soap on the side there, so before we put the that soap dispenser back on there, I'm going to clean this area up a bit. Okay, so we're ready for the soap dispenser. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to put the bellows back in the front, and the same deal. It's got a lip over here, so that piece has to go over it, and then we'll put that spring between the rubber, on top of the rubber and on top of this lip here, and that seals the whole thing. Okay, so here we go. So we had that thing tucked in, so now we're going to flip it out. Okay. And kind of position in place. We still have to put it around that lip, which is kind of fit it in place. See how it looks. And yeah, that's about it. So now you just start. It doesn't really matter where. You kind of just press fit it like that. Okay, so we finished putting this rubber bellows on the outside lip, so now we're ready to put this spring back on. It's kind of a pain, so we're going to give it a try here. So we're going to stretch it real good, and then we have to put this piece back over here. And as you can see, it's not easy. And golly, I think we've done it. Okay. So that's it. So now we can put this this piece back on, and we are ready to try it out. Alright, so here's the finished product. The new bellows. Make sure that the spring is lined up with the arrow there. That's where we took it off from. We've got the machine plugged in, and we're going to start a load, and we're going to inspect for leaks. And that's about it for now. See you next time.